Organisational change management is the discipline of managing the effect of change on people in an organisation. So put simply, it is the people side of change. People, organisations can find that quite confusing, and that's mainly because we hear about change so often. At AbleandHow, we try to simplify that by breaking it down into three things. There's change, the change, and organisational change. Where change refers to large macro level trends or events, so for instance financial services industry talking about regulation driving a lot of change in their industry. But it's quite hard to know what exactly to do with that level of change. The change then becomes the programs or initiatives that organisations pursue in order to deal with change. So for instance, it could be new IT, an acquisition, a restructure. And then organisational change is that third level that organisations need to get to if they want to really tap into the value of the change. So change needs to be managed effectively, and that's what organisational change management is. It is necessary because without it, people are less likely to adopt change into a new business as usual. And without that adoption, programs will fail. Change, if it is not done well, can have a high cost. Conversely, when organisational change is done well, programs are much more likely to succeed. People's resistance is proactively managed. That means programs implementation is accelerated because it takes less time to embed the changes. And then at the end of the day, ultimately, there's less unnecessary disruption to business as usual. So for all of those reasons, organisational change is necessary. Organisations increasingly going through a lot of change. So change management is becoming more and more important. Essentially, those organisations that get good at change will have a competitive advantage. If an organisation is going to go through change, the first question they need to ask themselves is, will people need to perform or behave differently as a result of that change? And if the answer is yes, then there's an organisational change management need. That's easier said than done. A lot of people underestimate the complexity in doing that. And that's because there are many different parties responsible for delivering the change. That list includes CEOs, executives, line managers, project managers, people who are directly impacted by the change. And they will all have different needs. They're all going to find it challenging, they're all going to find it uncomfortable, but they're likely to find it challenging and uncomfortable in different ways. So to effectively manage change, you need to bridge the gap between the aspirations and the needs of those people. So between the people championing the change, between the projects delivering the change, and between the individuals impacted directly by the change. Not just anybody can do that. It requires a lot of skill and experience.